Welcome to our Guinness Chocolate Pudding. I am Rachel Pitlack, and I'm the Director of Culinary and Culture, and I'm excited to be here with all of you guys today and with our executive chef, Bartyra. As some of you know who used to work at SFHQ with us, St. Patrick's Day was one of our favorite holidays to cook for. So we're excited to continue that tradition virtually with you now. Ba and I tried out this recipe last week, and I can tell you that it is insanely delicious. So I wasn't going to make it again, but I am now because I ran out of it and I need more pudding. Everyone in the house loved it. So we're excited to make it with you today. If anyone has any questions throughout the event, feel free to just unmute yourself and ask away. We want it to be fun and engaging. So please ask your questions either in the chat or just unmute yourself. So with that, I will turn it over to Ba. We're also going to share the recipes in the chat in case you need those for the class. So we've got a few different variations. We've got the regular main recipe and then one without dairy and one without Guinness. So those will be shared in the chat momentarily. So have fun. Over to you, Ba.
Hello, everyone. My name is Bartyra. I am the executive chef for the San Francisco office. And that's my first live demo. I'm very excited to be engaging with you guys. I've met several of you in the cafe, but for the ones I have not met, nice to meet you. And yeah, we're gonna learn how to make Guinness chocolate pudding. So even though there's Guinness on the pudding, we're gonna make sure that all the alcohol is cooked off during the cooking process, and kids can eat, and if you are a non-alcoholic person as well. So we're gonna start making our, okay, so let me go over the ingredients first. We're gonna need heavy cream, Guinness, chocolate, eggs, sugar, and we're gonna start making, we're gonna make a syrup with, we're gonna make a whipped cream with Guinness syrup inside. So we're gonna have a little bit of a bitterness and it's delicious. We're gonna start making the syrup with reducing our Guinness. So we're gonna use half a cup of Guinness and a tablespoon of sugar. So that's my first live demo. So if I go too fast, stop me, okay? I'm trying. So I'm using the larger burner, and I'm using or you can use the larger burner, and then you turn to the low, or if you use the small burner, just leave it on high. So I will turn to low, and we're gonna bring this to a boil, and we're gonna start making our pudding base, the chocolate pudding base, and we're gonna always keep the eye on the syrup so we make sure it doesn't reduce, and we don't pay attention and let it burn. It's gonna take about 10 minutes, so we'll be okay. For the pudding, we're gonna start, I'm using also the large burner, and I'm gonna use a cup and a quarter of heavy cream in a pan, in a saucepan, and a cup of Guinness. And with a whisker, we mix this a little bit and turn off the fire. I have the large burner, so I'm going to reduce to medium high heat, and we're going to bring this to a boil. And anyone have any questions so far?
Just to be sure, for the pudding, you have a cup of Guinness and 1¼ cups of heavy cream in there.
A cup and a quarter, a cup of Guinness and a cup and a quarter of heavy cream.
Okay, great. And in case anyone joined late, what do you have in the other pot? You're making the syrup?
Here, I have a half a cup of Guinness and a tablespoon of sugar. And I'm bringing this to a boil. I'm going to lower the fire and we're going to reduce into a tablespoon. So I have a half a cup and we're going to reduce to a tablespoon.
Great. And that's for
the syrup to make a whipped cream.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yes. So here I have heavy cream and Guinness. We're going to bring this to a boil. While this is coming to a boil, we're going to separate our egg yolks from our egg whites. I like to crack my eggs in a flat surface. This you have, it helps not get any shell into the vessel. So, see, it cracks really well. No shells. So, one. Now you can save your egg whites for tomorrow for breakfast, or you can always freeze egg whites. They freeze really well for if you ever do a recipe and then you don't have to crack a whole new egg. Make sure you keep your eyes on your syrup and your 2 other pots. Okay. You know, I'm gonna turn the heat a little higher since we already separate our yolks. So here I have half a cup of sugar, and I'm going to break down my yolks a little bit and squeeze and whisk, and I'm going to add half a cup of sugar to my yolks. And you're going to have, if you start whisking, it will become a little bit of a creamy, yolky texture. The sugar will start to dissolve. And the side. And my Guinness start boiling. So I'm going to reduce a little bit the fire and I'm just gonna let it go. My heavy cream and my Guinness are almost boiling. Ray, you're cooking with me?
Oh, yes.
Is your Guinness and cream boiling?
It is. It actually just started bubbling.
Awesome. So what we're gonna do now, it's called tempering the eggs, which is slowly add liquid to the eggs, and then whisk really fast, and then we're gonna incorporate the egg yolks into the bigger hot liquid. In this way, you prevent of making scrambled eggs if you add all the eggs in one time. So what I'm gonna do, oh, I'm sorry. First of all, actually, we're gonna add our chocolate into our boiling Guinness and cream. Now you're gonna have your house already starting to smell with chocolate.
Does it matter if the chocolate, if the heat's on or off once you add the chocolate?
It does. You turn it off the heat.
Got it.
Turn off the heat and add the half a cup of chocolate.
Perfect.
I'm using chocolate chips. And yes, I'm using 70% chocolate. So now we're gonna temper the chocolate. Temper the eggs. I have with a little ladle. We're going to pour into our yolks and whisk really fast. Now we'll do one more ladle. And now you brought the yolks into a temperature that it won't cook and won't coagulate, scramble egg. Then you add that liquid into your pan, into the saucepan. So my syrup, it's we need probably 5 more minutes and we will have that syrup ready. Now that we have our egg yolks incorporated into our chocolate pudding, we're going to turn off the heat again, bring to a boil and lower the heat. And we're gonna cook that for 15 minutes. So I have a little timer where they put it, here. Just so we.
Does anyone have any questions at this point?
Fire away the questions. Pretty straightforward recipe, but you know, if we watch the part of the eggs and the egg yolks, that's the hardest, and if we watch our syrup, we're ready to go. Not making scrambled eggs and not over reducing our syrup. That's our goal. Okay. So I didn't talk about when you have your pudding ready. I am using this cup to serve, but you can use a nice bowl like that, a little glass bowl, or a mason jar.
I've got a little mason jar for mine.
I like the mason jar. I like this pudding because you can whatever you decorate after, you can make the same base, but you can put different fruits. Or I made with banana, and it went really, really, really well. But you can use berries or even coconut shavings.
Mm-hmm. I put strawberries on top of mine.
I saw it. They look really beautiful. I even have strawberries today.
So at this point, if it came to a boil, then turn it back down to low for 15.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Turn it back down to low. You're gonna start having lots of big bubbles coming. So make sure you whisk your pudding frequently. You don't want to burn that. If you burn that, you're gonna have to start again. If you burn the bottom, okay. Chocolate really attracts any flavor. It's like beans. If you burn beans in the bottom, it doesn't taste good after, unfortunately. My syrup is getting really close. How's your syrup?
I actually didn't make the syrup today because I still have the whipped cream from our test.
Good.
Yes.
Let me see if I can show you. my syrup.
I actually felt like the whipped cream was going to be too bitter with the syrup, but it came out really well.
It's almost reducing.
It almost kind of looks like a balsamic reduction.
It's like a balsamic, exactly. Once you learn how to make this one, you can make any sort of reduction, like port wine reduction, and it's like a little honey-ish glassy color.
And so that's done, right?
Yes, and they put in big bubbles.
Looks good.
Yes. Once we're done with our syrup, we're gonna put it in a little bowl and bring to the fridge so it cools it off, so we can start to make our whipped cream.
Perfect.
Yeah, we're being cooking for 5 minutes, the chocolate. Is anybody doing anything fun for St. Patrick's? Any celebration? I'm gonna make a nice Irish breakfast for me tomorrow.
Nice.
I love Irish breakfast.
That was always our favorite in.
I know, there was that, we're supposed to have a big Irish breakfast in the cafe.
That's right before COVID.
Right before COVID.
Yeah. It was planned, I think, that Friday, and we never got to serve it.
I know.
I am going to make your Irish soda bread that we shared on Monday.
What I like about that recipe too, you can make a small like portion in individual rolls as well.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
I like it. I want to make it with the butter, the salted butter.
It's delicious.
Yes.
Okay.
Everybody else doing good with their pudding?
Okay.
It's fun too.
Like because the syrup, when it gets it's in the how can I explain that, in the last minutes of becoming like really syrupy, it doesn't look like it will, but how can I say, look at that, it starts to get in. Let me show you here, because once you turn off the fire, it will thicken. So
and you almost like gotta have to be really careful not to over reduce it.
Yeah, exactly. It comes through liquid to no liquid very fast. So I'm going to turn off the fire, and let me try to show you here. So that's what I got.
Looks good.
Yes. And I'm going to put it in a bowl and bring to my fridge. Lots of bubbles. Woo. Okay.
So we're hoping to do more of these classes too, either for bigger groups, or if you were looking for a team cooking class.
Yes.
Or you're part of a employee resource group and want to host a cooking class, just let us know what dish you're looking for and we can customize it for you.
Absolutely. And any requests of recipes and videos, we're right. We like to hear your feedback.
Yes, definitely. How's our pudding? How much longer on our pudding, Bob?
So 7 more minutes. We start with our whipped cream soon. So far, whipped cream. Oh, I have my cream in the fridge.
Oh,
Guys, should have told you that before.
we have a question about the non-dairy version.
Yes.
When do they add the sugar, since they're not doing it with the eggs?
They're not doing it with egg. So I would, so I thought I put, let's see. So separate some of the liquid. So it's what, I know, 1 second, let me just remember, I don't remember completely the ingredients. It's 2.25 cups of non-dairy milk.
Uh-huh.
So you save a 1/4 cup of the non-dairy milk and oh, you put it on the beginning with the sorry. I had too many different recipes about that. So you add in the beginning the sugar with the non-dairy on the beginning, and then when it comes to boil, add your chocolate.
Great.
Yes. Okay. 5 more minutes.
Great.
And let me see my syrup, how it is. A little bit hot, so it's okay. So here I have a tablespoon of sugar. And I'm gonna add to the bowl 1/2 cup of whipped cream. And a tablespoon of vanilla. So again, this is boiling. We're gonna have to keep our eyes on it so don't burn. And we're gonna start with our whipped cream. And when we're gonna beat for about 2 minutes, or 1.5 minutes, and then we can add our syrup, which it's pretty cool already. I'm beating on speed 4. I have a stand-up mixer.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
If you're using a hand mixer, is there a certain speed you should use?
So it varies. I know that I have a hand mixer, which is only 2 speeds. I will do it the highest speed.
Okay.
Yes. My chocolate spilling. So now I'm going to go ahead and add our syrup. And I'm going to put the highest speed on the mixer. Okay, let me show you. So maybe we can be a little bit more, but it kind of looks like the foam from the Guinness.
Uh-huh.
The little color. It's good.
A little bit more.
A little bit more.
How long do you think the pudding and the whipped cream would last in the fridge?
I would say 3 days for the whipped cream and the pudding.
Okay.
Yeah.
If they last that long.
Exactly. So my pudding is ready. It's been 15 minutes.
Okay.
I'll turn off the beeping because it's very loud. So you can see it's like a velvety color. Okay. So we let it cool for a little bit, and we're going to add to a blender, and we're going to blend that for 1 minute. So, and we're gonna add to the serving vessel, and obviously we cannot not put the whipped cream yet. And so you can leave it in your after you put the pudding into the serving glass. You can leave it in the freezer for about an hour, and then it will be ready to eat. You can just decorate with the whipped cream, or you can leave it overnight in your fridge, and tomorrow you can add your whipped cream. The whipped cream will be okay to leave it, to make it today and eat it tomorrow as well.
You were thinking the reason to have the class today was so that you could refrigerate it overnight and then serve it for supper.
Yes, exactly. But if you're in a rush, you can't wait to eat, you can just put it in the freezer. But yes, so I would just make the whipped cream tomorrow if you don't want to eat it today. Okay. But obviously, if you're doing the class right now with me, you just make it.
Yeah, and I also made mine, and it stayed good for a few days.
Yeah, it stayed good for a while.
It was good. So now we're gonna put it into the pudding into the blender.
Yes. Perfect. I'm just waiting to cool it off a little bit so it doesn't get too hot. Okay. So this recipe uses 4 cups of pudding. I think a good amount to serve is like a half a cup on each serving.
Yeah, it's pretty, decadent. The fruit helps kind of balance it out.
Exactly. It's a treat. It's for St. Patrick. So not for the everyday. At least we shouldn't. 1 minute. Okay. Let's see. Two cups. They say 4 cups. It's 2 cups. Sorry. Okay. Now we have our pudding ready. And a whipped cream, and you can start portioning. Put this away.
Hey, Bob, we've got a question about the non-dairy recipe.
Yes.
They're having trouble with it thickening. Do you suggest adding more cornstarch? Or
for the 3 tablespoons of cornstarch, right? And cook the 15 minutes.
Yeah, he just said it's not thickening well, and he used 3 tablespoons.
So usually it's see see, it's pretty liquidy, and once it sets, you will it should thicken.
Once it sets.
Yes, when it's set. What cream did he use? He used coconut cream or?
Hold on one sec. Oat milk.
Oat milk. So, and he cooked for 15 minutes.
It could be that it hasn't set yet. So
yeah, because this is pretty liquid, but it's different if it's like super liquid. Like
yeah, it's still pretty liquidy, but it did set for sure once you put it in the fridge. What I mean is, I think that if it's a little liquidy, it should set up in the fridge overnight.
No, but did he put it in the blender as well? Because the blender is when it kind of loosens up all the texture look like liquid, but once it's set, it cools off. You will thicken it.
Okay, we're all set.
Do you think so? Okay, are you sure? Okay, so let me show you. I have one that I made. I had, and look. Are you able to see, or should I? So let me show you how liquid it is. So it's pretty liquid, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And when it sets, it's.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's gonna work out. Just need to wait to cool off.
Yeah, mine's the same way, definitely. Like a pudding after you let it sit overnight.
Okay. So let me finish it. I have a few fruits.
Okay.
In a whipped cream. I will put this in the fridge because I'm gonna enjoy this tomorrow.
You're probably pretty putting down your house too.
I'll put a few pounds on that on this recipe. What I like to do a dollop of I made different ways. You can cover with the whipped cream so it looks like a Guinness cup.
Okay.
But I like to put a dollop of whipped cream in the middle. And add the fruits around.
Mm. And I think we talked about this, but I don't think we mentioned it yet in the class, is making sure you seal your, whatever you're putting the in, seal it or cover it with plastic wrap, because chocolate will really pick up any fiber, like will absorb onions or whatever you have open in your fridge. So it's
yes, that's very important. So yeah, very cool.
Can you show us a close-up? Yeah, beautiful.
And yeah, for sure, I should cover my one right now. The chocolate. I would love to know how it worked out the vegan one. If you can
Yeah.
let us know.
Great. Thank you, Bob. Does anyone else have any?
Thank you so much, everyone that came, and I am excited to keep doing this.
Yeah. Any last thoughts or questions from anyone? Well, we look forward to seeing you at the next one. I think we're thinking ahead to maybe a Cinco de Mayo class. But if you have any ideas or feedback, feel free to send them our way. You can send them to culinary@zynga.com, or feel free to Slack any of us, or you can email events@zynga.com. We'd love to hear what you're thinking. Yeah, and enjoy the pudding. Enjoy it tomorrow. It's going to be delicious.
Plancha.
Thank you, Ba. Thanks, everyone. Have a good day.